discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BGUnlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. I've done a discussion previously on this game, but I cannot remember if whenever we did the pandemic one, we did a separate discussion for that. I don't think I ever told you, my videos used to consist of the whole run-through, and then at the end of that same video was the discussion. So it was just one long video with annotations that led to the discussion, but it was still, it's like people wouldn't want to click that. They'd rather just click the separate video. So now it's a separate video on Mansions of Madness. I know it's a little bit behind. This is one of all of our favorite games. We very much enjoy Mansions of Madness, especially 2nd edition. And obviously, so in 1st edition, I don't know if you know this, it used to be a 1 versus all.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. And it was still really cool because the one person would still control the monsters, and he had cards that he could play against the players. Like if they took so much horror, then he could play certain cards against them. I remember distinctly if someone took all their horror, you can actually play a card that made them off themselves. Oh. Just because it was still really, really neat. And they the 1st edition had the puzzles, and they were actual physical pieces that you had to mess with.
Oh, nice.
But 2nd edition makes it so much better because the app is fantastic.
Yeah.
The app takes away all the fiddliness. The game's still kind of fiddly. Mainly just that there's just so much to it. There's so many tokens that you have to find people. And it's like, oh, where are they? And still have to put them on the board, but you don't have to worry about placement. You don't have to worry about some other person messing it up. 2nd edition is by far superior to 1st edition in every way. Let's see, because I figured there's going to be things that we like more about this game than what we don't like. So, are there any things that you guys don't like about Mansions of Madness?
I would say just the dice roll randomness can hurt sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it can be very thematic, but in the game, it's very frustrating when you need to do really well at something, and it's like, well, we're only doing bad because dice are not going my way this time. And I do like the fact that there are ways to mitigate that, like some equipment can help you, some statuses or conditions can help you, and then clues.
Definitely.
But yeah, I would agree with that. What was your insanity?
Oh, it was passive. I couldn't disagree with you. It was specifically to the person to the left, but we were at a crucial point in the game where no one was going to disagree with anyone.
That's so funny. What was the theme behind it? You do not want to start a disagreement. Arguing now just wastes precious time and resource. It is not like anyone would take your side anyway. You win or lose. Oh, perfect. So that's funny. That's perfect for you anyway, because you wouldn't disagree.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, because like I said, we were at that crucial point in the game where I was like, I just have to be an asshole to disagree.
Right. Nope, I want to kill her.
I'm not gonna attack that.
Yeah.
Why?
So, I mean, yeah, dice happen. They're very exciting, but they also can be very frustrating. That's not. At the end of the day, while it never seems like it, I do like dice. I think they can be fun, and swinging happens multiple times in Kingdom Death or Folklore, where it's just awesome.
That 10.
That 10, yep,
they're so high. You get that high.
Yep, it's like gambling. I still minor things. I don't like the fiddliness. You constantly because there is so much stuff. I hate the monsters, mainly because it's like, where are they? There's no real way to organize them. I organize the bases by them. Some of them are just kind of really shitty.
I mean, when a game gets so big, there's only so much you can do.
Exactly.
Really.
Certain games, I finally got the Kingdom Death organizer, so it's like, oh great, now just pop this out and pop this out, or Gloomhaven, bam, this is easier to play. I still really hate the insanity cards. They're probably my biggest thing I hate about this game. Mainly because I like them in theory. I like that it's like, oh wow, what's your secret thing? But in a cooperative game, just to fucking knee jerk that away, where it's like we're all trying to figure out like this murder mystery, or we're all working together, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna start a fire. I don't like it. Like it is intriguing to be like, oh, what'd you get? But at the end of the day, I just really hate how it turns that into potentially a semi-cooperative, or even if it's one where it's like, great, oh, I can't win. Like, it could be like, you lose the game if the main thing is but you can't do anything to stop it. So you're just like, great, I got this and now I lose. You know, even though everyone else wins. I don't like them. I really don't. So, and I know a lot of people do. I think they're unnecessary. What about you?
The Tandy card specifically?
Well, I mean,
things I don't like about the game.
Things that you don't like about the game. Because I know this was fairly high on your top 10.
Right, yeah.
It's one that you've actually
3.
bought.
Yeah, and I have almost all the expansions, or I'm missing the latest one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just little quibbles, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot of pieces that can be helped. Setup's a little bit of a bear.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
It makes it really helpful when someone else knows the game.
Right.
Like you do, you can just be like, whoop, whoop, and then just like, help me, instead of one person trying to manage everything.
Right. I mean, those are my main things. Just, diddly monsters that are awkward. It's unfortunate that they had to, print some little details for just little battle circumstances
right.
on each of those little cards. You just slide in there, they like to slide out,
yeah,
then you have to put the little monster on the thing.
Yeah, and the monster sometimes doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been perfectly fine with standees.
Mm-hmm.
Like what Gloomhaven does, the main characters be miniatures and standees.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I actually prefer standees because they're colored.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to like, wow, this looks like shit. Oh, if it was painted though, it's like, well, the standees don't have to be painted, and it would take up less space.
Right.
But it would still
easier to organize.
Easier to organize.
I love my minis, but
I do too, but I like good minis. These aren't great minis.
Yeah.
Well,
awkward.
you did say you like good minis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I completely agree. So, a lot of good things in this game. Question. Well, I mean, I know it's a question I've asked before, but I'm assuming you guys have no problem with the app
No.
being in board games?
No.
No.
No, I have no issue.
I
with
think that if you have an issue with that, you're archaic and you
that. I mean, the only
Stop.
issues
You know
I
what the
have.
latest argue against that is, though?
Please tell me. I like to argue.
But I won't be able to play this game in 20 years.
You go fuck yourself.
That's the latest argument. It's like with an app, in 20 years, the app's not going to work.
That's so stupid. I'm not going to be able to use my phone in 20 years. It's not going to stop me from getting
Yeah,
it.
and first of
But
all...
are you suddenly playing this game? Is
yes,
it going to be in working order?
Yeah, it's like, first of all, no, because hell, some people don't even, will rotate games out. And this game won't even be fucking supported in 20 years.
You think that Fantasy Flight isn't
Yeah.
gonna
You think they're not gonna
pumping this?
Yeah, we mentioned the Madness 10th edition, and it's holograms.
Just
It's a video game.
You play it by focusing, really.
I have never once seen like that as a justifiable argument that apps do not belong in board games. They streamline the game. They make it atmospheric with their music, with their voiceover. This app is awesome. The Journeys in Middle Earth app is better, but this one's still really good. One thing I really love about Mansions of Madness, and I can actually compare this to Journeys in Middle Earth because that game is basically Lord of the Rings with this.
Oh yeah.
But it's only campaign driven, which sucks because if you want to just play that game, you have to start over on the campaign because you can't just jump into a session. Mansions of Madness, I love how it's scenario based because you could just be like, hey, let's do this scenario. We've never done this one
Right.
before.
How much time do we have available?
Yep.
How tough do we want it to be?
Yep.
There you go.
So you can jump in and play a great game. And I personally have found every scenario to be awesome. Like I have liked, except maybe the first one. I mean, because it's the first one. It's not bad.
Right.
But they've just gotten progressively better. I love how much variety there is. Like it's not, hey, this one's a survival one. This one's figure out what's going on.
Some are just monster heavy, and then others are just murder mystery, and then big boss fight if you fuck up.
Yep.
Or if you get it right, then it's a mini boss fight, not so tough because you did it right.
Yeah. That's another thing, is I love how each investigation or each scenario has multiple endings. Like, depending on how well you do, and like there's always a stress, like a sense of time to it. And I knew we were getting there in this one. I was like, yep, this one is, like, this shit's really hitting the fan.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess another kind of problem is that the scenarios are almost one-time play. Because if we, I mean, unless, and we would have to play this one, the one that we just did again, to see if maybe it's a different person.
I feel like it would.
I think it would be too, but I'm wondering if, yeah. Like, because then they would have to change the story. Well,
they wouldn't have to change so much because they essentially had it pointing at multiple people the whole damn time.
Yeah.
They would have to just change a few key texts, and then they could easily make it point at someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really like that because in other ones, like in a lot of games, it's like, well, we figured it out, that's it. Great experience, love it, but we'll never be able to go back. Mansions of Madness, especially when you add all the expansions, it'll take stuff from like different scenarios. Like you can go back to like the first one and it could take like a tile from the latest expansion.
And it'll add the enhancements and everything else that you've gotten from the others.
Yep. Yeah. So the more you add, the more that they include, which makes it feel fresh. And I still remember a time where Kat and I, for the very first recording, we did the Escape from Innsmouth 1. And we got the ending that we got, and then Kat and I went and played and did something completely different and got a wild ending that we were like, oh my god!
Oh.
Like we had no idea it was going to go that way, and I'm pretty sure we still didn't complete it in the way that we were meant to, but we got an ending.
Yeah.
That just came out of nowhere, and we were blown away. The one that we just did for the run through was so atmospheric. Like I was actually kind of like getting into it. We find this ripped up piece, and we're like, what the hell? And then person in the background, we're like, oh, like
time traveler.
Fuck.
You bitch!
So, and then we got the ending that we got, which was not satisfying.
No.
I mean, it was still really cool because we just ganged up and just murdered.
You fucking bitch!
But yeah, at the end it was like, you wonder how they've been tracking him for so long. And I'm like, yes, I do want to know that. Like, I want to know why this happened. So it makes you want to go back and try and do better and then kind of feel your way. So I really like that. What other things do you guys like about the game? What's your favorite thing about this game?
My favorite thing about this game, my favoriteest, I have to say I like all the unique characters.
Really?
Yeah, I like all their unique abilities. You know, they all have a little backstory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they all just kind of find their way into the events. I mean, I just enjoy the sheer plethora of cards and nonsense that you can play. I like the unique injuries, the unique. I mean, I kind of like the insanity cards.
And that's fine. I know I'm definitely in the like not in the wrong, but in the whatever.
It's kind of like dice. It's kind of like they're that little, what am I going to get? Is it going to be something kind of neat where I just have to be quiet the whole game? Or is it going to be something like Pyromania, which always seems to pop up somehow, which is not fun?
No, that one is by far the worst one. I mean, some of them are really cool, like for the greater good, you do not win the game as normal. Instead, you win only if the investigation is complete and you have been eliminated. Otherwise, you lose the game. And I forgot, actually, you take some of these out depending on number of players. Whoops, what was yours? What was yours number? Oh yeah, 2 or more. So we're good. But yeah, the number of characters I've always loved, and they're those staples. If you played Arkham Horror 2nd Edition or 3rd Edition or Eldritch, they're all the same people. But in every single one of those, one of my favorite things about these games, these Cthulhu games that Fantasy Flight makes, is they don't tell you the same story. Like you get, I mean, they'll probably be more similar, but you get to know these characters a little bit more. And if it, like, there's times where I'll draw and be like, oh yes, I got this character, and I know a lot about him because of just how much story has been driven.
Right. No Rex Murphy in this game, unfortunately.
Is he not in this one?
Nope, he's not in Mansions, unless he was added in the latest expansion.
I'd have to look him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one fucking wants Rex Murphy. Hey, you don't get successes.
You're cursed.
You're cursed. Yeah, you can't win.
Well, they don't. Yeah, in this game, they don't really incorporate disadvantages. The only way they can incorporate it is in their numbers.
Right.
So
he has ones.
Right. Go 1 in
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG Unlocked and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs, which include audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more from leading audiobook publishers. What I do is I actually download their app, which enables me to be able to listen to the Wheel of Time series, which is phenomenal if you're looking for a huge fantasy world. But if fantasy isn't your thing, well, you can also do romance, fiction, teens, nonfiction, comedy, science and technology, and many, many more. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG Unlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the rest of the video. Babe, what's your favorite thing about this game?
I like laying out the map tiles.
You do like that, because you like Betrayal at the House on the Hill for that same reason.
That's probably my favorite thing. I like, honestly, not only do I like laying out the map tiles, I like hearing the story. Really, I could do without the combat or the fighting. Like, if they could just wrap up the story, like, and lay down some tiles, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so interesting.
I agree. Combat is, to me, it's still, yeah, I'm more engrossed in the story that whenever combat happens, I'm like, ugh, alright, let's get mechanical about this. Like, kind of like D&D. Like, I get, because sometimes, like this one didn't need monsters. And sometimes they just kind of put them in there, and it's like, I would have been fine with the big bad person, but the extra monsters, I'm like, really? Like, they didn't need to be there. And then others, whenever it's like the zombie one, where it's like, yeah, that one's going to make sense, and it can be really neat, and you can, you play completely different based off the scenario that you're in. One thing I do like, I love how they handle how they handle damage and horror. I really like that. I like how it's just not just a token that you add or a token that you take away. It's cards that are thematic to what's going on. I really like the mythos phase where all the mythos phases and all the sanity checks in combat pertain to the monsters and the scenario. Like, I really like that. I like how it's not just some generic one that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're attacked by a zombie, but there's no zombie there. But this one is
tongue swells.
Yeah, and some of them can be, like, terrifying. Like, almost like Deep Madness, whenever we were, like, we drew, like, that Madness card, and it was like, play this for the rest of your mouth is permanently sewn shut, so they get really, if you get into the engrossment of the game and the theme, they can actually be kind of terrifying. And so, I mean, my favorite thing about this game is the theme. Like, it's Cthulhu. It's very engaging as a game, and it would almost, I can't imagine not being engrossed into the theme. Like, they do such a good job with the app. I love the conditions that you can get. I love the way, and conditions actually came from Elder Tor. In Elder Tor, there are condition cards, and there's a bunch of them that will affect your character and things that are happening to you. I also really like how spells are done the same way in Elder Tor, where it's like in Arkham, or you rolled dice and just did whatever the spell did. I love how in Eldritch and in Arkham you have different effects based off the spell. Like, there's a Mists of Relay deck where it's like, hey, they're all gonna be different based off of. You still activate them doing the same thing, but they all do something different. I love that. It makes everything unique, and you're like, oh well, what's the spell gonna do this time, or what's this condition gonna do this time? So there's just so much variety in the game. And in all reality, like, the expansions really, they're probably more expensive than what you get, but at the end of the day, how many scenarios are there? There are, let's see, 19. And one thing that they've done brilliantly is they can make DLC. Like, there's two DLCs for $5. Three DLCs for $5. And so they can just be like, alright, well, we're done, but here's a DLC pack or whatever.
New scenario.
Yep, new scenario, and just use the stuff that you got. Because, I mean, honestly, you have more than enough. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I can't think of really anything else about like about the game that we haven't already said. I mean, there's items. Like, so there's just so much.
Right.
So much to it. Like, even though you have 19 scenarios, probably in most of those you'll have at least 2 endings.
Mm.
So if you do one and you're like, well, let's do that one again and try and go for this ending.
Mm.
And then you might get surprised and be like, oh, there's a third ending that we didn't know about, that we stumbled upon. Like, what would have happened if we just started this one and be like, yep, it was her.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure there's like there's the one where you just take too long and then the person reveals themselves and then their scheme goes off.
Yep.
There's probably the wrong finger ending.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the proper finger ending.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So at least in this one, there's 3 endings. The one we did a long time ago was 3 endings.
Who's to say the wrong finger ending isn't just the same as the, she performed her scheme.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so it's at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. I love it, and it's one that you can get almost anyone to play.
Right.
Because since it is, that's one brilliant thing that the app does. In first edition, you had to have someone who always played the Overlord, or they called it the Keeper. And it's like, so I control us, so it's mainly going to be the person that fucking owns the game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't bring out first edition and be like, hey, you're going to control it this time. Let me teach you how that is. Because Kat tried that once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you didn't really know, what to do, so the game's not that fun.
Right.
In second edition, it makes it fully cooperative, and therefore, if you're getting people who don't really know what to do, you can help them.
Mm-hmm.
That's also why I don't like the insanity cards, because that puts in an element that now new people don't know what to do.
And then you have to look into a whole new slew of rules that you didn't need before. The stealing, the pushing, the attacking other players.
Yes. Yeah. When before you didn't need to do any of that because you weren't going to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just another reason why I don't like Insanity. But love it. Love this game. I can't remember where it ranked in my top 100. I believe. I can't imagine it was past 50. I'm pretty sure it was within my top 50. But it's still on there, and the more I play it, it's always a blast, and it's a fantastic game. So scale of 1 to 10, Kat.
Always a dang old 9er.
9er.
Yeah.
Yep. Devin.
Oh, I'll give it a 10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of any board game, I probably played this one the most.
Yeah.
So,
That's true. Well, technically,
like,
you probably played Arkham. As I spit everywhere.
Well, yeah.
I mean, with other people. This is what.
Well, actually, I think it's Pandemic Legacy I played the most. But.
Okay. Was this in my top 3?
I think it was. This was your number 1 co-op game.
Was it my number 1?
Yep.
So then I'll put it up to a 10. I'll say anything in my top 3 should be a 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9. I figured you would give it a 10. Because in my ranking for a 10, yeah, like no game is absolutely perfect. I can nitpick stuff.
Right.
But so probably same for you. Yeah, there are some stuff that you're like, but at the end of the day,
It's like I'm never unhappy to play.
Exactly.
I'm never like, oh.
Like if you came over tomorrow, I'm like, hey, we're doing Mansions again. You'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
Like even if we did this exact same one, you'd be like, neat.
Like we could play like again, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like right after another. You know?
And mine's not gonna be as high. I'm gonna give it a 9. Because I really do not like those Insanity cards. And that's the problem is they don't even come up that often. But I'm pretty sure they come up in every game because someone is going to go insane. Unless you have really high, every character has really high horror. It's just I don't like them when they do come up. So it kind of bugs me that much. And combat. Here's the thing: combat is still fun because it's grounded in theme. It's not like Folklore or almost every other combat game where it's like, all right, 2 damage, that's it. But like it's like they give you a descriptive of what you're doing. You kneel down to 1 knee and then take aim, and then you roll, and then it tells you a pass or fail, which is also thematic.
Right. And it goes all different sets each time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and your different weapons. So I love that some unique items. That is actually the thing about the items is used in the game. Like, hey, you've gotten this evidence. Now you can read it and get more information. So that's just more invigorating and more thematic and more just diving into the story. But yep, those Insanity cards, hate them.
Well, I feel like they've tried to, it seems like some of the most recently released Insanity cards aren't so, they don't affect the game, they more affect, like, the person.
Yeah.
Like they've added those new the quiet cards that can't disagree.
Yeah.
I feel like those aren't terrible.
Yeah,
those are kind of cute and kind of fun.
Those I like. I've always liked games that take outside elements and put it into it, like stuff like that.
Because like, imagine if I had gotten a card that said argue with the person on your left, and you're like, okay, you need to go here, and I was like, no.
Yeah, yeah, and stuff like that, and stuff like that is neat, and you're right. I do like those because there's another game called Dead of Winter that crisis cards or shit like that can pop up, or the Crossroads cards will be like, if someone scratches their head, read this card.
Oh.
So things like that, and I've always loved that. My problem still with that same argument is that those Insanity cards are cute or neat the first time. Because then as soon as someone that gets that card and is like, okay, you have to argue with the person to your left. Then let's say they get that again, they start arguing, you're going to know exactly what's wrong with them, so it's no longer thematic. You're going to meta. I mean, there's no way it's like, oh, she has that card. Or if someone starts walking away from the thing and then starts lighting fires, you're like, I know exactly what they're doing.
You beat up Seth, take his candle.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
so, yeah, exactly. Or, I mean, and those are the there's some in here that you won't really know. Like forbidden words, you cannot speak. You win or lose the game as normal. You're going to know that, oh, well, that person's kind of quiet. Okay, they probably have this insanity. Right. So all those ones are cute, and then they're no longer needed. Then they're just annoying. So yeah, it's still a 9 out of 10 for me. Some of these, like I said, I like them in theory. But at the end of the day, they knock it down for me. But other than that, the game is phenomenal. It's still a 9 out of 10. It's just that one thing that keeps it from being perfect for me. You guys have anything else? Anything else that I missed?
Nope.
No.
Awesome.
No.
So that's our thoughts on Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.